Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim there where the sense can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of Flock Rundown. So the pads are finally on at training camp. Melvin Gordon confirmed that Jk Dobbins is holding out. Patrick Queen told us that he's betting on himself this year, and a couple key guys returned to practice. So let's get into it. So Melvin Gordon recently did an interview with the Baltimore Banner, specifically Kyle Goon, and he said that he didn't know JK was holding out until he got into the building, but Jk Dobbins is holding out. So this confirms what we were probably already suspecting, I was expecting, or holding in, or whatever you want to call it. To me, it's obvious that the Ravens and Jk Dobbins had to have some sort of behind-the-scenes agreement to keep him on PUP because, from my understanding, you can't fake your way to the PUP. You can't just make up an injury. So I'm guessing that they're using his knee or whatever as the injury, and that keeps him from being fined and keeps the media off his back for holding out publicly. Now, Melvin Gordon kind of ratted him out, which is not great for a guy who just got signed, in my opinion. I don't think that he should be doing interviews and telling people, oh, yeah, JK's holding out, I see it. He probably should say, I don't know, ask JK like John Harbaugh did. John Harbaugh definitely deflected it, called it a unique situation, and that's something that the reporters should talk to Jk Dobbins about, which I'm sure they'd love to. But I think the picture's becoming a lot clearer now. He's obviously not happy with how much he's making this year. He thinks it's a risk for him to go through training camp or the preseason. And he's right, to be honest with you. If I'm making $1.4 million with no future security and I have Jk Dobbins' talent, I don't want to risk my body in the offseason either. It's not like we franchise tag Jk Dobbins and he's going to miss $10 million this year. If he sat out, he'd miss 1.4 before taxes. Talking $800,000-$900,000 take home, whatever that ends up being. I don't know. I'm not in that tax bracket yet. But I'm just saying he's not missing a ton. Like, even if he sat out this whole year, he's losing probably less than $1 million. And that makes a lot more sense for him to sit out. I still don't think he'll sit out in the regular season. I think he's got too much to play for with his injury history. He's going to have to show out on the field. So I fully expect Jk Dobbins to play this regular season. I just think that he's sitting out training camp and preseason to protect himself. And it's not a bad idea. I'm not mad at that at all. There's a lot of fans turning on Jk Dobbins. If anything, I'm a little disappointed in Melvin Gordon already for just coming to the team and then doing this side interview and basically airing out the truth. And it's not a huge deal. I think that we all could kind of see Jk Dobbins was holding in or that something was going on. But now a player has definitely confirmed it. Melvin Gordon is like, nobody's even talking about it. Everybody's talking about Jonathan Taylor, but Jk Dobbins is holding out. It's like, dude, relax, all right? Jk Dobbins has a reason, in my opinion, to take it easy this offseason and be like, I don't want to get hurt. I got a lot on the line this season. My future career earnings are on the line this season. JK cannot afford to have more injuries. Being protective of his body because he's not getting paid a lot and has no future guarantee is not a bad decision, and Ravens fans should not be beating him up for that. So the pads are on at training camp. Practice got a lot more physical, and it seemed like the D-line and the pass rush was imposing their will on the offensive line and kind of stole the day. The defense has been winning a lot of these practices, as they should. I don't think that it should go any other way. Obviously, the offense is going to have their days, and as training camp progresses and they get more familiar with this offense and get better at it, then I expect them to win more days. But this defense should be dominating. This defense should be in full control right now. This is basically the same defense from last year. We have a lot of the same players, a lot of younger guys who are stepping up. Mike McDonald's still there. There's a lot of familiarity with the guys. When we traded for Roquan last year, the defense took off. Kyle Hamilton was getting better. The defense was playing lights out at the end of the year. They're just picking up where they left off. This is great news. We want the defense to be dominating practice right now because this defense has already been a unit together, and they understand the scheme. They understand their responsibilities, their roles. They're just out there playing free and fast, and we got a really talented defense. So the offense struggling a little bit early in camp makes sense, right? You're going against a top 3 defense in the NFL that is familiar with each other and the scheme. And as an offense, you're learning an entirely new scheme, new verbiage. Lamar doesn't have a wristband anymore. He's got new weapons everywhere. There's a lot of chemistry to build, and there's a lot of room for improvement there. There's no way you come out the gates swinging. So I still have a ton of faith in this offense. And John Harbaugh said the offense had their best practice yesterday. So I'm not even trying to say that the offense is playing terrible. I'm just saying the defense looks more dominant right now and is winning a lot of these practices. But the offense is steadily improving, and that's all we want to see. It seemed like the offensive line was the biggest struggle. Michael Pierce, Justin Matabuke specifically, was wreaking havoc on the offensive line, was bursting through. Dafe always winning a lot of battles. He's really bending and dipping his shoulder more than usual. He got around Ronnie Stanley a few times, so that's a great sign. It seems like the pass rush and the defensive line interior penetration in the offensive line is definitely winning. So that could be that left guard weakness, and then Linderbaum is still young and growing, and they're all learning a new blocking scheme and a new pass offense as well. So like I said, it makes sense that the offense isn't clicking on all cylinders. And you don't have Rashad Bateman or Jk Dobbins. The defense is full force, so the offense is still missing 2 major weapons. And they're all also learning an entirely new scheme. So there's nothing to be concerned about, but it is interesting to kind of see what's going on from a day-to-day. And I do like hearing that Michael Pierce and Matabuke, Travis Jones, Dafe Owe, Ajabo are looking great, are getting to the quarterback consistently, are pushing the offensive line back. That's great news. If we can get a lot of penetration from our pass rush and from the interior defensive line, our corners and safeties can hold the fort down while we get to the quarterback. We know we got stellar linebacker play. Our defense is in a great position to have another dominant year. Lamar hit Nelson Agholor in the red zone drill for a touchdown. It seems like Aguilar's going to have a role on this team. Maybe even more than Duvernay. Now, right now, Rashad Bateman is still on the PUP, so we don't know how much Rashad's going to come in and take away from Nelson Agholor. I would expect quite a bit if Rashad looks like Rashad. You know what I mean? We haven't seen him in so long. I don't know what Rashad Bateman we're getting. I don't know how that's going to pan out, but I do see a role for Agholor. He's athletic, he's fast, and he's got a lot of experience. And he seems to be making a lot of plays. He was working out privately with Lamar this offseason, so I think there's definitely a role for Agholor, and he's earning it. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. Patrick Queen hit the podium and essentially said that he's betting on himself this year.
Yeah, I definitely haven't even got close to the service of the players I could be in. Everybody around here knows it. I think people around the league know it. And that's why I'm out here just trying to get better, trying to compete, trying to just master my craft. And I think when I do that, I think the whole league going to be on notice.
He knows he has an opportunity to ball out this year and put some film out there and set his own market. And he's exactly right, and it's not a bad position for him to be in. He's a great player coming off his best season, probably heading into his best season. So hitting free agency directly after your best season, he's going to cash out. He's going to get a big deal. If he prices himself too high, unfortunately, I don't see it being in Baltimore, but I'm still hoping that we can get an extension done at some point. I would love to keep Patrick Queen and Roquan together, but Patrick Queen seems confident and knows that he's not even close to being the player that he can be, and he also knows what's at stake this year by his performance on the field. He's going to set whatever market he desires based off how he performs this season. So, and I expect him to perform really well. So that's going to up his contract price quite a bit. So we'll see what he ends up getting and how he ends up playing. But good for him. I mean, I'm a team guy as well, but I understand the player. You know what I mean? I could put myself in Patrick Queen's shoes and look at the positives of the position that he's in. He's going to cash out. He's going to make a lot of money for him and his family, whether that be in Baltimore or somewhere else. We see it all the time where guys price themselves out of Baltimore that we love and that we would like to keep around, but they just play too well in their contract year. Justin Madubuike is going to be a prime example of that this season. Watch. He might dominate this season, and then he's just going to price himself out. It'll be another Zadarius Smith, Matt Judon type situation. Trenton Simpson is behind Roquan and PQ right now. If PQ were to move on next year, I'm sure Trenton Simpson would step into that spot. He's been making some splash plays. His athleticism is undeniable. He's a dog. So I think he's going to find his way on the field regardless, but he would have a lot more of an opportunity, obviously, if PQ priced himself out of Baltimore. So I think the Ravens are sitting good either way, and I think Patrick Queen's in an incredible position either way. Last thing before we get out of here, Michael Pierce also hit the podium and said some interesting comments that I just wanted to highlight.
From 2000 on. So it's a standard that you got to reestablish every year, and I think we did a good job of that today. But like I said, we got a long way to go. It's just about doing that every day and making sure each and every team knows when they play us, we might not have a $100 million guy, whatever the case may be, but when they play us, it's going to hurt.
Love that he brought up that they're going through old film, that they're setting the Ravens standard from 2000 on, showing defensive film, basically saying that we might not have a top contract guy, which we do. I don't know why he said that. We do have some top paid guys. Marlon Humphrey, Roquan Smith, Marcus Williams have huge deals. But regardless, he's like, we don't have that superstar that you guys are all talking about, but when you play the Ravens, you're going to know. It's going to hurt. You're going to remember when you played the Ravens. Every Sunday they walk out on the field just making sure that they impose their will on that other team. And that's huge. Setting the tone, especially in the trenches, is how you win games, especially consistently. So I love that mentality. I just wanted to bring that point up, that they're going through old Ravens film just to teach these guys, and Michael Pierce already knows this, but to teach a lot of these younger guys, Travis Jones, etc., that this is the standard. This is the standard that you guys are held to, that the organization expects, that the fans expect, because this was what came before and has proven to work and wins football games. That's it for today, guys. Training camp will continue throughout the week. We'll have a lot more videos. I appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.